Hey, it's Robert, and you really should transcribe every episode of your podcast. And why would you do that? You do that because you can run all this content through ChatGPT and accomplish some amazing things. Imagine, let's say you have a podcast with, say, 80 episodes, right? And anytime that you wanted to, you could run them all through ChatGPT and create a promotional email to your list. Every time you want to, you can run through and create 80 LinkedIn posts to be dripped out over time. And you can even do some even advanced stuff, like say you have 80 podcast episodes and 80 guests. You could run through and create 80 thank you or follow-up emails, and over time, email these 80 people and say, hey, here's your episode. I know we recorded it 9 months ago, but go and promote it again. And then you can even do some more advanced text manipulation and research, because you can get these transcripts kind of edited down into blog posts. You can get them condensed even further into roundup posts. You can say, hey, I've got these all in a YouTube channel. Can you logically group together these videos, these podcast episodes into custom playlists? And that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be looking at one of my clients' YouTube channels. He's a paying client, he's been paying for years. He's got a wonderful podcast called Grab the Map. And we're going to run through some technical stuff. We're going to, let me just get a to-do list figured out here. So here's what we're going to do, is we're going to download all of his YouTube videos. We're going to download the audios, and then we'll run them, we'll transcribe them, and we'll do this by loading them into an Amazon S3 folder, and then we'll use Zapier, and we'll run it through a service called DeepGram. And so the 80 or so episodes, we'll download the audios, we'll get 80 transcripts, and then we'll put them all into a ChatGPT or an OpenAI assistant, and we'll ask it about which YouTube playlist we should create. So let's get to some of this stuff. So here's the first step, downloading all the audios. And here's a trick that I think might blow your mind. If you find a YouTube channel, and of course I only do this for like my own channel, client websites. You find a YouTube channel, you can very easily get all of the videos from it. So here we go, here's Grab the Map. And we go here to his channel, and then we go and click on this more link. And here's like the about pop-up for the YouTube channel. We scroll all the way down to the bottom, and there's this share channel button. And then we say copy channel ID. Okay, so following along so far, go to the YouTube channel, click on the about more section, copy channel ID. And then here's what we can then do here is we can go to youtube.com/playlist $list equals, and then paste this in. And then this always starts with you see something. And if we change this to you, this gives us a playlist of 860 videos. This is all of his videos, all of his shorts, everything like that. And so what we can do is we can just take this and copy it, and then open a command line, and I'll go into my downloads folder, and then we'll make a new folder. So we'll say make dir grab the map, and then we'll go into it. And then I have a tool installed called YTDLP. So we say YTDLP -X, which downloads just the audio. And then I can right click my mouse because I copied this web address, and I let that run, and this will run for a while. And here we go. So we have 860 videos to download as audio, but a lot of them will go quickly because many of them are short. So we'll let this run, and then we'll have 860 different videos, and then we're going to sort by the length of time for the videos and remove the shorts, and just be left with the podcast episodes and also the kind of intermediate videos that he posted to his channel. And then we'll move on to the next step of getting them transcribed and then run them through ChatGPT. Okay, and here's what we ended up downloading. And I went through here and I kind of sorted some by length and by date and by name. And I did my best to try to remove the duplicates because we also have some YouTube videos and some YouTube podcast episodes. So sometimes there's a little bit of duplication, but we removed what we could. And more or less we have all of these audio files in here. I'm actually curious to see how many hours total we have. So 69 hours total, pretty cool. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to separate the shorts from the actual videos because that's a little bit of duplicate content here. So I'm sorting by length. And I think what I'm going to do, I just got an idea a little while ago to not get rid of the shorts. So shorts are videos that are 1 minute and less. I'm going to keep the shorts in a separate folder and later on recycle them as tweets and have ChatGPT condense down those 1 minute clips into like a sentence or two to use for tweets, to use for graphics. I think that will be useful for us. So here we are. Some of these are only 7 seconds. So we'll scroll down and figure out what constitutes a short video for us. So that's like a bunch of these, right? And we have, some of these are a few minutes long. So what are we deciding is our cutoff? Because we have like Friday reflections, behind the scenes. So some of these are quick videos. So I think, let me see if, so we definitely want to cut it off before this, right? Want to keep the episodes. All right, I guess we'll right around here, right? 2 of my latest storage units, right around here. That's just what we'll do as a gut check. So we'll highlight those and make a new folder and call these our shorts. And then we'll just paste those short videos in there to differentiate. So what does that leave us? That leaves us with 217 videos. And so the plan here, if I can find my notes again, is to run these audios through DeepGram, and then we can run them through ChatGPT again. And I used to run it through all in one shot, but I found it's a lot more useful to first get the transcripts and then reuse them again and again in any way that we want. And so what we'll do here is and so another thing to know is that I really like to use Google Drive a lot, especially with their desktop sync feature. But it does not work too well with Zapier as far as inputting files, right? It's great to get a result. It's great to say have my Google Drive, and then I have my my folder right here, and it's great to get the output. But as far as sending files into Zapier and into ChatGPT, Google Drive is very uncooperative as far as giving regular raw file names. So we'll use Amazon S3 to get the files to ChatGPT through Zapier. And if this is a lot of steps, just look at it through the lens of what's possible and what we can do, and just kind of enjoy the show, enjoy what we're setting up here. So we'll first go to Zapier.com, and we'll say create a Zap. Not going to let AI make it, I'll make it myself. So we'll say the trigger will be Amazon S3. Amazon S3. And then an event is a new file. And then as far as a bucket, so I guess we'll make a new bucket for this. And I'll leave it to you to navigate the whole step of getting your keys from AWS put into Zapier. I won't bore you with that tedium. All right, here we are in the Amazon console. I'll go to Amazon S3. And just to make this simple, we'll click on Create Bucket. And I'll just call this Transcribe. Oh, we'll call it ChatGPT, right? So, whoops, create that bucket. And then I think we can just block public access and leave everything normal, except we do need to make sure that it's US East. And let's create the bucket. Okay, so ChatGPT. And then we'll create a folder in the bucket. And we'll call the folder Input Audio. Create folder. I think that's what Zapier needs. So we'll choose the bucket. And we might need to refresh. Yeah, refresh results. ChatGPT. And then folder, say Input Audio. So whenever a file is added into that folder, and to test that, we need to go to this Input Audio, click on Upload, and then Add Files, and add one of the audio files. So we go to grab the map, and hit this group by stuff. Take one of the smaller files, upload. Okay, so that one file's uploaded. Now we test our trigger. Give it a moment. Okay, cool. Our file's in there. It's this .m4a file. So continue with selected record. And then we said that we want to set up with DeepGram. So we've created an account already with them, DeepGram. And then the event we want to choose is create transcription. Whoops, let me move my head here. Create transcription plain text. And then the audio URL. That's a good question. I think we plug in the file. I think. We'll find out in a moment. And let's test that. And here we go, it worked. Hello everybody, I'm Dr. John Crutchfield. So now we know that that works. So, whoops, didn't mean to publish the whole zap. Well, that's okay. So I didn't mean to do that. That's okay, it's live now. So it creates the transcription. But what we want to do here is go back and edit the zap. We're still building this. Okay, so instead of publish, we just wanted to continue. So down here we add another plus sign. And here's where we want to write the file. So we say Google Drive. And then the event here will be create file from text. And then we'll use this on our Google Drive. Continue. And then just use our one Google Drive and then folders. So what kind of output folder do we want to put this in? And I'll just go in my Google Drive and I'll make a new one called transcript output. Okay, so choose a folder, refresh, transcript output, and the file name will be, so we'll call it the file name passed in from S3, and then the file content will then be the transcript that we created. Make sense? Okay, and then see now, okay, and then because we have this ID number in here, at a later date, if we wanted to recover that back to get the YouTube URL, we could, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. We don't want to convert this into a Google document. Let's just keep it as a text file. And I believe we'll have to call this .txt, but we'll see how it works in a testing situation, right? So here we go. We have creating this text file in Google Drive. So at the moment, this folder we just now created is empty. And then we'll test the step. And then it's running now. And then just like that, because my Google Drive synchronizes, it created this and it gave us this transcript, and the output is just like this one raw block, but that's okay. ChatGPT will be able to use that information. So we're good to go here. So let's then publish this. And now we are equipped to upload, add files, and then we'll just upload every file that we have in this folder into our Amazon S3 bucket. 215 total files, 3 gigabytes, upload, and we will let that run. And here we are a couple hours later. I think it only took about 40 minutes or so for my audios to upload, and then a few more minutes for all the zaps to run. But here are the 216 different transcripts, and they all look sort of like this, right? There's no speaker names, and there's no paragraph breaks because it was all run through this API, but it's still enough for the raw materials to give to ChatGPT. And hey, technically, we could feed these to ChatGPT and say, turn this into a blog post, turn these into podcast notes. It still can make sense of these. And so let me give you 2 final demos here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lump all these together into one ChatGPT assistant. And so, you go to chatgpt.com and you can do your kind of chats here. And then if you wanted to add files, you can do this kind of tool going to Explore GPTs, create, and you can kind of create your own, and you could upload files. But the limitation there is that you can only upload 20 files at a time. So if you really want to do something juicy, you do this. You go to the OpenAI Playground, and then we go to the playground here, and we go to assistants. And so I can make my own playground, my own assistant, and I can add my files in here. But what I like to do is create a project. That way I can easily get back to it. It doesn't get lost in this whole big, long list and mess. So I'm going to go here and say create project. I'll call this Grab the Map Podcast. Create an assistant. And we'll just call this Grab the Map Podcast. And then we'll add the file search. And then upload our files. And files, click to upload. And then we'll add all of those, all of those text files, right? So we have transcripts, output. We'll add all of these. All right. And I believe that you can't really download these back out once they're in here. So make sure that you have all these files stored somewhere else. And we'll let this all catch up, and then we'll attach. Some of these failed. I think I might have uploaded too many at a time, but luckily only like 6 failed. So I'll attach these. Too many files at a time. All right, so let me try this again. This is giving me flashbacks. I think I need to do this in little groups at a time. So let me do this. I'll view in the list view, and I'll just upload those in chunks, sort of. So I'm uploading up to episode 41. Okay, attach those. And then episode 42 up to seller financing. And so we're loading all of these podcast transcripts into this one ChatGPT assistant so we can ask things like, well, outline a book based on this, or tell me what kind of YouTube playlists we should make, or what are the best quotes out of the whole entire podcast. And a shortcut for your life experience is a shift click. If it's awkward to select a bunch of files, click once, hold down shift, click somewhere else, and it will give you all the files in between. So now we went through 3 or 4 different steps, and we'll give this a second to catch up with all the indexing. So that's great. And then what I also like to do is I like to crank the maximum results up to the most. That way it's looking at the most number of files possible. And now that we look at this, I can say, based on all these different YouTube videos, 1 per file, suggest some logical grouping for YouTube playlists. Let's see what that gives us. Click on Run. Okay, and here's what it gave us. And this will take a little bit of massaging. And my strategy here is to tell it which playlists I like, and then to keep building that list, and then go through each of the playlists ideas, and then say, suggest me some videos in a logical order. So I'm just going to take the list it gave me so far. Getting started in real estate, personal development and success, financial freedom and wealth building, come up with some more YouTube playlists for me based on the content within your knowledge base. They should be SEO optimized, and I'd like a list of 10 to 15, please. Property management, flipping houses, building and scaling, networking and relationships, wealth building. Okay, so let's just show you a little bit of my logic here. So we've got this. Development, and I like property management, flipping houses, building and scaling, and networking and relationships, wealth building for entrepreneurs. I like that list. Okay, so now we have this list, and I'm going to create a new notepad and just stick it right here. Let's build the YouTube playlist for list me 10 videos from this knowledge base that belong within this list. Be sure to arrange the videos in a logical order. That makes sense if someone watches playlist from start to finish. And then while that runs, I'll go to YouTube. I'll go on the right here and switch to YouTube Studio. And then click over and switch accounts to grab the map. And then we'll go to Content. and playlists. And I think we just need to choose videos. So we'll go to videos, and let's see what it gives us first. So why real estate investing works. And I wonder if just the ID will work. If I search across our channel, aha, okay. So then, if we edit that, we scroll down, and then new playlist, and so why real estate investing works, and oh, wait a minute, real estate investment strategies. That's what I meant to say. And then while that's cranking away, I'll send, how long is this? Okay. Write a very detailed, descriptive, SEO optimized, what is this called? Just description for this YouTube playlist. At least 200 words, but no more than 5,000 characters. Keep that at the ready while we add to this, right? So real estate investment strategies, and we'll add that one there. And go back. And now we can just go to playlists, real estate investment strategies. Oh no, didn't want to view it. Just wanted to edit the playlist. Oh no, oh no. Okay, so 3 dots, edit. No, I thought there was an easy way to just add videos to this. All right, I'll go back to the YouTube studio. And content, playlists, real estate investment strategies, and then edit. No, there's a way I can easily add videos to it. Videos, edit in YouTube. There we go, just a few clicks away, right? And then add the videos that way. Okay. And then, so that's still cranking. It's slow because it's combing over a lot of stuff. So let's do start small but think big. Oh, it's not easily done. Let's see if we can grab it from the ID. Yes. Okay. And then fast, medium, slow. And then can't be easy adding all these, can it? So many tabs. All right. Grab the map. And you get the point, right? We just add all of these videos to our playlist. Okay, and then we told it to write the detailed description. And so now let's just copy all this and make use of that SEO juice, right? So we paste all that in here. Oh boy. There's got to be a better way to edit that. You'll have to navigate to the YouTube studio again. Contents, playlists, real estate investment strategies. Aha, so let's try this again. For some reason, Okay, there we go. So yeah, now we are almost at the character limit, so we made good use of getting those keywords in there, which is a heck of a lot more than other YouTube channels do. And we can just repeat the process, right? Because we said that we have this list, and we'll do the same thing for our Getting Started in Real Estate playlist, Personal Development and Success. And so we're just kind of building the structure of our YouTube channel there. And maybe two last magic tricks before we go. One is outline a book based on the best material you find in this knowledge base. Let's see what that gives us. Building your first portfolio, overcoming obstacles, and building confidence. And you see how it's putting in information that we saw, like Gary Wilson, fast, medium, slow money strategy. And then once we had this created, we could drill down chapter by chapter and tell it, well, build us a structure of what the subsections of each of these chapters should talk about, and cite your sources. Tell us which YouTube videos we should go and grab and use to build out the content of our book. And here's what we ended up with. We ended up with 13 chapters, and it starts with the foundations, investment strategy, build your portfolio, financing, long-term wealth, house flipping, property management, tax strategies, networking, and it shows our work. And so we could use that to make a book. And so one final magic trick I want to show is running this through ChatGPT, because we have our 210 different files. And I said that, if I wanted to, I could run those shorts through, and at a later date, I probably will turn those into tweets. But each of these individual episodes, we could crank out a promotional email telling people to go and watch this YouTube video. And we would have to be a little careful because, as I said here, there's this kind of YouTube ID, so we would have to grab that manually. But we could load up all of these transcripts and create a promotional email using Zapier and using ChatGPT. So in these last few minutes here, let me show you one other Zapier trick. So this 3-step Zap right here, this was just to transcribe audio. And then we can go and make another Zap, and we'll say, create a new Zap. And then this one will be very similar. We'll start with Amazon S3 to load up the files. And it will be a new file. And the bucket will be, did we say it was called like ChatGPT or something? ChatGPT. And then the folder, let's see what we had here. So let me close this upload. So we had input audio. And then we'll make a new folder, and we'll say input promo email. Create a folder. Okay, so whenever a file gets put into input promo email, we'll say input promo email. And finish required fields. I did. ChatGPT, input promo email. Okay, did that work? It's not letting me click. Okay, there we go. So, and then we'll move one of these input audios. Is that possible? Move to input promo email. Okay. So now within this S3 book, we've got our input audio folder. We also got an input promo email. And then what we'll do here is we'll say, so we'll run that test. All right. And how to get attention from people you want attention from. And then ChatGPT. And we'll say we are going to do a conversation. And then we'll insert the contents of the file first. And then we'll say, write a promotional email sending people to watch this YouTube video. Create a compelling, attention-grabbing subject line. Start with either a question or pattern interrupting attention getter. List at least 5 compelling bullet points for why they would want to click, and above all, use the AIDA formula and any other conversion techniques, Cialdini weapons of influence you deem necessary. Do not show your work output, only the promotional email. And then continue. So test that step. And then there's a couple other small adjustments I want to make, but let's make sure that works first. Give that a moment. Let me scroll through. Are you ready to transform the way you think about relevant topic? So did it use? Okay. And you see how it gave us some really generic stuff. So I don't think it read the contents of the file. So I'm glad that we checked this and that we did it in small steps. So instead of the file, we want to do the contents of the file somehow, right? File. Okay, so since I'm doing this on the fly, I think what I have to do is make all of this public. So bear with me here. It can never just be simple, can it? How do I make... So I think if we enable public access, promote email, we just need to get this, right? So this URL, access denied, and input promo email. And I'll just do this. I'll say, can't be simple, can it? Write me a bucket policy to make Chumpix public bucket. All right, and we'll copy that into that bucket policy. Edit. Save changes. All to try to get this public. Aha, that worked. And oh, of course. It's the audio, right? So let me fix this. Of course, let me fix this. Let's go back into promo email. Let's move this back to the other folder. So browse S3, put this back where it belongs. Input audio. I'm feeling a bit dumb. All right. So you move that. We want to upload the text file, not the audio file, right? So we go here, input promo email, upload, and we add just one of those transcripts that it auto-generated for us. Maybe you were watching this shouting through the computer screen saying, you need to be processing the text file, not the audio file. So we go to transcript output, grab one of these audio files, or one of the transcripts here, upload this. Okay, now let's try again with the Zap. So we say, new or updated file, give this to ChatGPT and retest step and see, uh-oh. Let's start again. Find new records. Okay, file B. And then run that through ChatGPT, giving it the transcript and not the audio. So we still got not quite it, right? Still didn't plug in the actual file. And so the way I know to get this done is if we, let me do this. Let me go to this file. Let me check the public URL again. So that works. Okay, so we need to get this URL. So what we do is we say webhooks by Zapier, and we'll get from the folder right there, and then the file name. So I think that might work. Let's see if that works as is, and test that. Access denied. Okay. So we need to URL encode that. Just can't be easy. Okay, so formatter, text, and we'll encode, or let's see, URL encode, and the input will be, see, will that even, yeah, promo email, let's encode that whole file name, convert space to plus, true. And we have the plus signs. And then we grab this URL. We will get that off of S3. So the whole URL didn't work. Oh no, we need to plug in the right one. That's why. Okay, so we need to grab the change URL. There we go. Never thought I'd be so happy to see it. Pull down a text file properly. And then now in ChatGPT, we plug in the proper fields of all this. Oh, need to complete the step first. So get the file, continue, and then in ChatGPT, plug in wherever it let us do this, that text, test that step, and here we go. Let's see, and the end result is ready to stretch yourself, thought about taking a leap into something new, and learn from experience, transform your mindset, and so yeah, and so now we can publish that. Oh, actually, one last thing, we need to write the file, right? So now we can edit the Zap and then go back to Google Drive, and we will create file, choose my Google Drive, and the folder will be transcript output. Uh-oh. Instead of transcript output, oh yeah, maybe we'll put another folder within this. And I'll call this promo email output. Promo email output. And the file name, and we'll plug in, I guess, that as the file name. And the file contents will be the ChatGPT output. So here's the reply from ChatGPT. And then do not convert it to a document. Keep it as a text file. Test step. And then we'll wrap this up, and we'll consider the magic trick taken care of. We publish that, and we go back and look at our folder here. And it has, oh, we need to make it a .txt. But the end result here is that it says, are you ready to stretch yourself? Thought about taking a leap into something new but held back. So now we do need to plug in the URL, and that's a step where I could extract it from the file name, but you get the idea. You can pile in the transcripts in one folder, and it runs through ChatGPT and saves it in another folder. And that's just the magic of using Zapier and ChatGPT, and sometimes our other, what did we say was the DeepGram was the other tool, and we can now grab a whole YouTube channel, transcribe a bunch of videos and audios, run them through ChatGPT, and just manipulate the data and work with our whole podcast from the top down. And I'm Robert Plank from dfypodcast.com, and if this is the kind of conversation that you want to have with me about you just being able to create the content, make the videos, do the Zoom interviews, whatever, and then hand it to me and my team. We work our magic. We create the reels, the clips, the social media, images, the promotional emails, get it on YouTube, do the SEO, the keywords, then let's chat. Robert Plank, dfypodcast.com. Don't be a stranger. Let's talk soon. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.